Hello. Hey. Hi. Peace and love, everyone. How are you today? Happy Monday. I am doing some things different, and as you know, I send out my messages, or maybe you don't. I hope everyone is having, let's just start. I hope you all are I hope you are having a beautiful Monday, a beautiful start, first day of the week. And I hope for this moment, while you watch this, that you are at peace. And I am going to do some things a little bit different. So I am switching up my delivery for the way I process and transmute information. So for each new moon and full moon, instead of a video, there will be a picture with words of just what is going on, the energy to embrace, and the understanding of the things among us and above us. But every Monday will be like a meditation, so it'll either be like, Meditation Monday, or like Moon Monday, or something like that. So this intro song, that's my intro. So we're gonna lock that down, get some vocals laid, and then maybe by the time you guys come back, there will be a nice intro video. But so I have notes because I'm a nerd and I like to write things out, and I like to study and do my research and then process it, and it helps me to like lock it in when I then like talk to somebody about it. And so because I can't be with everybody at the same time, or like physically with people, right? So there's like another way to deliver that message, and here I am. So I'm actually covering a lot because it's been a lot, and I'm sure, as I know, I have been, and everyone around me has been really feeling it extra hard. So if I know I don't necessarily talk to everyone aside from the messages, but I know that we are all powerful because we are all connected, and understanding myself helps me to understand you and understand the people around me, the people that I attract. And it's been an intense energy in the sky, so I know it's been intense internally. It's been intense for me, and like I said, the people around me. So to get started, just take a deep inhale and exhale. Listen to the cars drive by that sound like waves. Listen to the birds. Listen to the trees. Listen to the squirrels. Listen to the chimes. Listen to yourself. Listen to your heart. And just quiet your mind. Take a deep inhale and exhale. So the energy and the time is all about new balance. So we are redefining what our balance looks like in all areas of our life. We are currently in Libra season. Libra season is all about the balance. It's all about harmony. It's about reciprocity. And so that is Libra season. And so we are restoring balance in, like I said, all areas of our lives. And I really say this because we are also experiencing this at the same time as fall equinox. So we transitioned into Libra season on the 22nd of September, and the 22nd of September we transitioned into Libra season. The fall equinox is essentially harvest. It is it's equal day and night. So we are starting, like, we have a day where it's just even, and it allows us to then interpret it as our, like, duality of self, right? We are the body and we also are the spirit. So it's balancing that within ourselves. But then even within your spirit, it's balancing your duality of your masculine and your feminine. And then it's through the body, it's also balancing out literally your body, because my right side is very rigid. It's very rigid, and so my left is very open, and my right is like, we holding on. And so it's all about the releasing, and the releasing through shifting. So not so much releasing in the sense of just like, I let this go. It's like, no, I shift through this. I'm going to rise through this, right? So that is essentially what is happening. And because it's also the fall equinox, there's major shifts, as in the sense of weather, in the sense of your environment. We transition into seasons, and then mood. It affects your mood because you're now starting, if you're up north, you're starting to see different colors on the leaves, and you're just starting to see the changes in the air, the changes in the sky. All those things are happening. So, like, down hurricane season, like, everything is just, it's coming, right? So, and essentially the water picks up because it's an intense time of shifting. So, like, the winds, everything is just going, it's on 10, right? And so we are just restoring balance inside of us and outside of us, and also outside of us is restoring balance. So when we speak on the planets and the skies, they are also restoring balance because we are in Libra season. So everything is coming into, like, on a microscope of, like, okay, does that weigh out? All right, cool. All right, what does this need to balance that out? So we're everywhere. We're up and down, within ourselves, and above us is also like that, which is why it's happening to us. And the education of it, I feel like self-awareness is key. And then self-awareness in connection with education. So being educated about also what's going on outside of us, stuff that we can't control. Literally, there's, like, stuff that we can't control, and the things that we can't control is because there are 6 planets in retrograde right now. We have been in retrograde season pretty much all year, but since April is the first one, which was Pluto. Not the first one, but Pluto is still retrograde. And Pluto is coming to the end of retrograde. And Pluto is all about, it ends in October. It's all about facing your shadows. And so we all have a shadow self. And that's why it's the duality, right? You have your ego self, and then you have your shadow self. And there's some other selves in there. But we act on our ego self, and we hide our shadow self. Those are our fears. Those are the sides of us that we have, the qualities that we have that we don't want to claim, and are maybe attach shame to that quality, when really we can just attach understanding to it and just know how to embrace that and how to move with that through life without allowing that to turn into a negative. Okay. That was a lot. So that was, like, a lot in the sense to even think about. That was deep. So that is that is coming to a close of retrograde, and essentially retrograde is an illusion period. So it's a period where like you tread backwards and you start doing a review of what of certain areas of your life. And Pluto is retrograding in Capricorn, the sign of Capricorn. Capricorn is all about structures. It's all about essentially structure, like and so we've been facing those parts, and then essentially, like I said, shifting. So all of these things we have been shifting through. So right now, everything is just very intense because we're in maximum shift mode, and we're in a season that supports shifting. It supports restoring balance. So everything feels like you're like, damn, I am this way. It's me. Oh, like, and I say this often, like, I realize it's me. And it's like, girl, it's always you. Like, it's always you. So, like, just know who you are. Like, if you know who you are, then you know that it's like, oh, I'm gonna do this. All right, cool. I know that I'm capable of doing this. So let me move this way. And so that's all that really has to, it's conscious thinking. So all of these retrograde season allows you to develop a deeper consciousness while thinking. And what is it? Be, think, act, right? You be, then you think, and then you act. Got that yesterday from a therapy thing for my brother. And so be, think, act. And so when you really think about it, it's just that simple. Like, you be, and then you think before you act, but you act out of your being because you're thinking while you're acting. So it's just a circle. The circle. So since then, April, that was Pluto retrograde, and then June, Neptune and Saturn went retrograde. Neptune's in retrograde till December in the sign of Pisces. Neptune is the ruler of Pisces, so it already has like a dream-like state. Neptune is really the planet of illusions, and it's been essentially having us look at, like, acknowledge our emotional truths, because it's the planet of illusions. So when we move out of that, when you feel that energy, and Pisces is ruled by Neptune, so it's also in that its home sign. So it's like, well, it's home now, but it's essentially like, you be wildin'. Look at yourself and be like, okay, my emotional truths are this, and I'm not going to be or feel guilty about that. I'm going to accept how I feel. Right. Shit sounds like it's for the birds. But just accept how you feel. That's all we have to do. Just accept how you feel. Like, even if you feel a way where you feel like if you tell certain people, you may be judged for it. Right? And that's not necessary. I was having this conversation with a loved one the other day, and it was just like, girl, I see you. Ain't nothing wrong with how you feel. And if that's how you feel, act on how you feel. Just, make sure that it's rooted in realness, right? Make sure that it's rooted in, like, truth. Like, not just the facade. Like, what's the realness of what's the core of the situation? Those are the core of your feelings. Okay, then feel those feelings. And don't feel guilty for feeling those feelings. And so that is what this time is. It's just accepting those and acknowledging them, and then accepting them. There's steps, there's levels. And in June, Saturn was also transitioned in the sign of Aquarius, which I believe is also I always mix up Aquarius and Uranus. Saturn is the ruler of Aquarius because Uranus is the ruler of Capricorn. So Saturn, it's retrograde in Aquarius, and this also goes direct in October. And Aquarius is all about, right? So Saturn has the rings, right? because Aquarius is all about boundaries. Aquarius is all about like, I'm gonna preserve me, self-preservation. It's number one thing. So it's been understanding our boundaries and commitments and recognizing that it's okay to have boundaries. And it's okay to stick to them. It's okay to say no. It's okay to say this is too far. It's okay to say I don't like this. It's just okay. So we've been analyzing that, breaking those things down, and honing into what that, and setting in stone, and actually implementing those boundaries that we state. And it's hard. It's hard to do, or it may be hard to do for people that are not, for those of us that are not naturally set in our boundaries, because it's the rule of Aquarius. So all the Aquarius I know, they stick to their fucking boundaries, okay? And however they feel, that's how they feel. They're not gonna do anything that's outside of how they feel. And so if you're not naturally like that, it's understanding what that means for you, what those boundaries may be for you, and then actually moving through those and living through those. We also had, after that, we had in July, Jupiter went retrograde. I'm trying not to scratch these mosquito bites because, okay, they're not there, out of sight, out of mind. Jupiter went retrograde. It's retrograde in Aries, and then it goes into Pisces. So it goes back. Jupiter is the planet that rules Sagittarius. Jupiter is our planet of like fortune, not like fortune. It's our planet of fortune. It's our planet of ambition. So it is. We have been honing in since July the expansion of our mind and our personal growth. We've been very. I'm grouping you into my process. So if you haven't been, because I have, you have. So we've been honing in to who we are and where we're going. And not so much where we're going in the sense of like thinking about the future. It's where we're going in the sense of presently. Presently we're moving. How are we moving? And what energy are we moving? And on what frequency are we moving? So that is we've been expanding that. And everything has been in relation to like, to you. This has been personal. This time has been very personal, and it's been check-ins. It's been like mental check-ins. Like, well, why am I like this? Like, I think I've asked myself that every single day, maybe 3 times a day this year. Why am I like this? And in a genuine sense of just wanting the understanding of why I'm like this. So, that has been what we've been experiencing since July, and I got lost in the paper. And it goes direct in November, so we are still allowing ourselves to develop what personal self-growth looks like, what it feels like, and sticking to it. That's key, right? Consistency is key. So being consistent with ourselves and what we tell ourselves, how we speak to ourselves, that has been and will continue to be embraced. In August, Uranus went retrograde, and it is retrograde in the sign of Taurus. Taurus is our earth sign, and it's very grounded. Uranus is our planet of deconstruction and not deconstruction, because Pluto is really the planet of deconstruction. Uranus is our planet of, like, I don't want to say, yeah, it's like construction, like, I think I said a construct. That's the word. That's what it's about. So how are things laid out? And that we have been in retrograde since August, and it'll be in retrograde until January of next year. And it is just our time to embrace patience and develop the understanding that change does not happen overnight, and it is not a quick fix. It is not something that just like that's why. And it's so, I'll tie it all together in a second. Patience. Develop patience. As I talk about patience, I was about to rush it. So embrace patience. Embrace patience over your dreams, over your goals, over what you're doing, and understand that even though you may not be where you see yourself or where you project yourself to be, you are where you need to be your projected self. So you are that self right now. So it's all about being present. It's all about being understanding. And just embrace that love that you have for yourself within yourself. And then last but certainly not least, we have Mercury retrograde, which went retrograde this month, towards the beginning of this month, and it is retrograding in the sign of Libra, and then it goes back into Virgo, which is actually its loving spot. And it's about having compassionate understanding. So offer compassionate understanding to yourself and to everyone around you. And even if that means this is the separation. Even if that means like I'm no longer doing this. Even if that means I'm gonna change this outcome or this situation, or I'm going to do nothing, or I'm going to leave. It's like, if that is what it is, have a compassionate understanding with whatever may come. And I say the separation because, and I say this is why I was going to tie it all together. I say this because all of this is happening at the same time, but the order that they're happening in is so important because we needed it to happen in this order so we can now handle Mercury retrograde. And I've talked to a lot of people. Retrograde has been retrograding, and especially Mercury. Now, we always talk about Mercury. However, all of these other planets going retrograde is very vitally important because it's like Pluto was going retrograde first, and we've already been dealing with like facing our shadow side. And I'm pretty like Mercury has been going retrograde this whole time that Pluto has been going retrograde. So it's just like for Pluto to be going retrograde is very it was just very pertinent, like that all this stuff is happening in the signs that they're happening in. So Pluto went first, and then we have Saturn and Neptune. So like looking at your illusions, understanding your boundaries, like understanding your true emotional self, and then understanding your boundaries and your commitment to yourself through those emotional boundaries. While we've been facing our shadow self. And then we started expanding our mind and our personal growth and understanding what that looks like for ourselves. And then we started embracing patience. We welcomed in patience and started understanding that, like, you know what? Change isn't just going to happen. Like, I'm doing what I need to be doing to see the necessary changes occur in my life. It's going to happen how it needs to happen. I'm doing the work. And it's the understanding of that, those thoughts settle. So now, during Mercury retrograde that we've been experiencing, you can now have compassionate understanding of everything that's going on right now. Like all of the craziness that has happened since retrograde season has started, there is a compassion of the understanding. you're understanding with grace. And that doesn't mean that there's no anger. That doesn't mean that there's no sadness. That doesn't mean they can exist. They can both exist. The compassion can still be there. I can be compassionately angry. I can understand you and still be angry. I can have both, the duality of your emotions. So just understanding yourself through everything that's going on in the sky, in personal lives, in environments, just the understanding and the patience to be calm, the trust within yourself to know that you got you. We got us. And so there's just, I don't know, now is the time. And so Mercury, Saturn, and Pluto will all be direct next month. And I'm just having a really good day today. And I just realized, I'm really full of light because this weekend I had nothing. And I feel really good, even with all of, in spite of all that is transpiring in my life. Personally, I feel really good. And I think it's just been I know me and I trust me. And I've never trusted me this. Not to say never, I'm never gonna say never, but I haven't trusted me this hard and this real in a long time. And so I personally would like to extend that energy to everyone, to you, that trust of self. And know that you will always rise yourself up. So, all that to say, we are in retrograde season, and as important as all these retrograde planets and all this knowledge is, it's also important to note the planets that are direct. So we have Venus and Mars, which are both direct. Venus versus Mars, Blackbrick. I love Jay-Z. Okay, so Venus and Mars are retrograde, and Mars is our planet of action. Are not retrograde. They are direct. Mars is our planet of action. It is our doer. And Venus is our ruler of relationships, and in the sense of physical beings, finances, your relationship with yourself, your relationship to things. So Venus is the ruler of that, and Mars is our action. So those are the two planets that are moving direct and outside of, because everything is retrograding or direct in relation to Earth, right? So those are the two planets that are we straight. So your relationship to yourself feels stronger, and your actions feel clearer. They feel like you have direct clarity on what you need to do. And even if we choose to fog up our vision on what we need to do, you have clarity on what you need to do. And our relationship with ourselves and our relationship with the things around us are under reconstruction, because we are restoring balance. So we are currently restoring balance with those things, and we're actively doing them because those are the planets that are direct, and everything that is retrograde is in relation to those things. we're just under a microscope of like, okay, it's time. Because it's just time. It's just like a different understanding. I don't know if you've been feeling that way, but I've definitely been feeling that way. And the people that I've been talking to have also been feeling that way. So yeah. And, you know, feel free to look at your birth chart and maybe see where these planets lie for you and how this is personally affecting you. And if you need assistance, I can help you with that. So, but this is the time to really, like, you know, go within and go outside of yourself, bringing up, look what's on the other side. Keep it up. Randomly wrote stuff on back pages of paper, so I could get little love notes every now and then. But yeah, keep it up, because just get to know yourself. This is a personal time. Everybody, to be honest, I don't really want to be around people right now. Shots fired. I don't really want to be around people right now, and that's okay. So I know when I need to be, and so I'm preserving my energy so I can still do what I need to be doing. However, I also know who I am, and the self-awareness has allowed me to understand that, and to love myself through that. So I hope that you are loving yourself through it too, and if you aren't, you can start now. But that is all I have for this Moon Monday, the first of many, and I hope to see you again soon. Also, if you get my text messages, if you've also made it this far, you a real one. But if you get my text messages, these videos will not be sent in text. So I'm gonna be a very a YouTuber and be like, subscribe to my channel. I don't know why I just cringe. It makes me cringe. But yeah, subscribe to my channel so that you can have and turn your notifications on, because I'm not going to text these out. But my messages, my card, the moon messages will still go out every 2 weeks. But these messages, it's just gonna be on YouTube. So, you know, every Monday you could catch me under some trees talking about the sky. So, I send you love and light, and I pray that you have a beautiful week, and take it easy. Take it easy. Allow yourself to rest, however that looks like or whatever that means to you. So, until next time, peace.